Well, let's get started, huh? Should we get started?
Yeah.
Might as well. We were talking about, we think some other people are in a different meeting. What meeting was that, Ursula?
NFCB is having its business meeting right now.
NFC. But we might get some more people as it goes on. Well, welcome everyone to the old meeting on Thursday. Hope you're doing okay. Today we're going to do another open forum. We do have some things already to talk about. Ursula was talking about fundraising, and I have someone who, well, has been talking to me about she's having trouble with bounce back on Yahoo, and we just cannot figure it out. So I thought I'd pose that to the group if any of you guys have had issues with that. And then I think Joseph had something he wanted to talk about if he's able.
Joseph said he would join. He's in the business meeting. He
Oh,
said
okay.
He could.
Okay. So things and aims, we're still high up on the COVID. That's like my report. That's what I report on. We had around 1,300 cases as of this morning in a day. And we
had 1,300 in one day?
Yeah, it spiked up because I guess they're adding something called antigen tests, including another kind of test that they didn't include before, which makes it spike higher. I don't really understand what that means, but
so we had 1,300 in one day?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and there's a few bars that have gotten in trouble because they weren't paying attention. They weren't following the social distancing rules or being open when they shouldn't be.
Well, the bars are supposed to be closed, right?
Yeah. There's like 3 bars that were naughty. I don't know. How about as far as the station, Ursula? Well, you would know about that. How our station's doing.
Well, everybody's just really getting stressed out more and more, and people are, unhappy because they can't come to the studio, and I just notice
getting it out.
Stress, higher level of stress than a month ago. Getting on each other's nerves more. So it's I think it's the combination of the virus and the election. I think people are just getting stressed out. But I had suggested, I don't know if anybody here is interested in this topic, but we have a fund drive that starts in November. And I'm just trying to do a lot of thinking about what kind of messaging and what kind of, just how to go about doing a fund drive right on the heels of the election. And just, I'm interested in if anybody else has any ideas on whether they're planning to do a fund drive this fall, and if so, what they're planning to do. I'm just, I'm kind of looking for ideas about how to handle this.
Yeah, that'll be a good topic. No,
That's
you
it.
want to pass it on?
Oh, sorry. Alicia, I'll pass it to you since you just arrived.
I think I got it. Hi, how are you?
Oh,
okay.
Good to see you.
Thanks. Yeah, today's one of those days that I got, in total, like eight Zoom meetings. How's that sound for a deal?
Wow.
And
8
then,
meetings?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, meetings and Zoom meetings. So conference calls, but it's one of those today. It's just, and of course, so, but I'm acting like a true politician. I'm going to every single one of them and saying just, hi, how are you? Kissy, kiss the babies, and then move on to the next one. I was just listening to the Spanish news, radio station, right? I mean, my KBBF, a special program, and I'm like, oh my God, depressed to the max. I'm just really worrying about this election, you know what I mean? And how we got to get the vote out, and especially among Latinos, you know, Hispanics and everything else, especially because, you know, it's just so hard. You know, it just made me realize, you know, I'm just overwhelmed right now, you know, with what I'm seeing, that if we don't do something, you know, it's, you know, we're just so divided among ourselves right now. And
Yeah, the
you
stakes
know,
just
and
keep getting
you know, and
higher.
to me, the death of you know, Ruth Justice just had such an impact on me. So, I mean, like everybody else. And so, you know, the thought that, you know, that the trespasser at the White House is going to nominate a Hispanic from Florida that is more right wing than, you know, anything else, and it's just so scary. So anyway, that's my check-in. Sorry, but I shouldn't. I
We
shouldn't
feel you
start out with. But you know, it just. Ah, it's one of those things to me. That's
for
very, very
sure.
hard. You know. So.
Well, you could pass it on to the next person.
Oh, I don't.
Burden.
Well, I'm not sure. Why don't you do it, since I came in late? As always. Sorry about
Okay.
that. I don't know who has already talked.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Davine. How are you doing?
Oh, Davine. Yeah. Hi, Davine.
Well, it was devastating to have Ruth Bader Ginsburg die, for sure. And I share your depression on that. But I was also working on some local candidate forums, and I was finding video of this very strange right-wing candidate, and the rhetoric coming out of his mouth. You know, it took me back 40 years ago to whenever I was in a bad marriage with one of those kinds of men. And that, so between Ruth Bader Ginsburg and listening to this guy's full of dog whistle, oppressive, I call it Reich wing, not right wing, to bring in the Nazi component. The right wing rhetoric is just too much. So we had
Is this in Asheville? Asheville candidate?
Asheville.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in District 11, and it's a really big deal. And then last night we had a protest of the Brianna ruling or court ruling, and this group that was protesting last night is not like the official local Black Lives Matter people. This is a group of kind of anarchists, and they don't want anyone filming them. I attended a protest by them about a month ago, and they were very aggressively telling me not to film. Well, they seem to be on the left side extreme of the right side extreme. So they're the opposite sides of the same coin, very extreme on both sides. And last night, the right wing extreme guy who classifies himself as a journalist, but the closest thing he is to journalism is more yellow than real journalism. But he showed up and he refused to obey their "do not film us" order. And he ended up in a scuffle and getting knocked to the ground. And so he's in the hospital today with brain damage.
Oh, wow.
So on the one, or with a serious head injury. So on the one hand, it's like the clashes of the two extremes, but on the other hand too, it's a left side trying to stop the press also, which is very bizarre, because when I went to film them the 1st of August, I've been live streaming for over 10 years to county commission meetings, city council meetings, school board meetings, town halls, committee meetings, and I've never been ordered to not film. So there's something very bizarre about a group of people who are supposedly protesting, which why do you protest unless you want people to know what you're protesting about? And that's the first time I've ever had that happen. And when they came on to me, they were very aggressive. And so I left. I shut my camera down and left. Well, this guy last night, being the very right-wing part of it, he's not about to shut it down. And it's like they both have these huge chips on their shoulder and each one saying, knock this chip off my shoulder. So that's what's happening in Nashville.
Man, that's kind of chilling.
And by the way, Ursula, we are having our first fundraiser next month. And we're taking the tactic of we're your comfort zone in this pandemic time. We're your warm blanket.
Sorry, Davine, I'm listening. I'd love to hear more about that. Sorry, somebody just came and brought something, but.
Yeah, we've got a script out working on it now, but that's my major thought is we're coming at it that we're your safety zone and we're your comfort zone right now.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that
I mean,
later.
it's true.
Yeah.
I'll pass it on to, has Russell or Vertical spoken?
Vertical says hi. He doesn't have sound, but we can pass it to Cynthia, who is using Russell's account.
Okay, so I'll pass it to Cynthia.
Yeah.
Hi guys. I don't know how when I got on Zoom how Russell's name got on there, but that's okay. I'll be incognito. I spoke to a Green Party candidate who's running in the 19th district of New York, and we were talking about, you know, the fact that he's not getting very much media coverage. And I said, well, you know, there's Pacifica. And he goes, how many people really listen to Pacifica? And I thought to myself, even if it's 2, that's 2 more than you're getting now. So as far as like being on Pacifica and being a candidate to the left of the Democratic Party, is there a platform for people like this?
Is there what?
A platform for people who are to the left or center on Pacifica?
What do you mean by a platform?
You know, to get their voice heard.
You mean just like any like local radio shows or national
Correct.
shows or?
Correct.
Well, I mean, Democracy Now! Is pretty overtly a platform for that, right?
Right.
I mean,
But-
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, a lot of Pacifica is that.
Okay.
You know, the other thing I have to say about that, you know, the number of listeners, I mean, Pacifica has always, since it existed, represented, you know, a relatively small part of the American public, right? It's not a huge sector of the, I mean, it's dwarfed by commercial radio and even by NPR. But Pacifica has always played a really important role that has made it very powerful anyway, which is that it breaks stories. And the thing is, no matter how small the audience is when it's broken, once it's broken, it's broken. And so Pacifica has always played that role in American media as being the place where stories can get broken. And then once they're broken, other larger media, you know, pick it up as well. And that's historically happened over and over again.
Okay.
It's just kind of been the dynamic for Pacifica since its beginning.
Okay.
I mean, the whole coverage of the Vietnam War, that was started by Pacifica. And many, many, many other stories. You know, the story was broken here first. And the thing is, even though it's not a big audience. If you have one media group that allows stories to get on the air, then the larger medias are, you know, eventually forced to cover it too, because it's out there. Now, in this day and age with the internet, that's a little bit less significant because so much gets broken on the internet now. So we've lost that exclusive, you know, function, but it still is what Pacifica does.
Okay.
Anything else going on with you, Cynthia, or should we start our meeting today?
Let's start the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just gonna sneak my little thing in here first, not since we got a bigger group now. So Wendy Ring has been emailing with me and she's been having trouble with Yahoo. She tries to put her shows on the announce list and she just gets bounced back. And we've tried some different things and I don't know, it just doesn't seem to work. We've taken her off the list and re-added her, but she still gets bounced back for some reason. And I was just curious if any of you guys have had that issue. Okay, well, I guess we'll just keep trying.
Yeah, it's hard because it might be something local, you know?
Right, it might be something with her, like email preferences or something that we don't have
Yeah.
control over. I don't know because, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing weird I've noticed with Pacifica Announce is sometimes you don't see your own post, which I don't understand. How that
Oh,
is. But people have complained about it and it's happened to me, so I know it's a real thing. I don't know why that would happen. Yahoo is really hard to understand.
maybe she should make like a Yahoo email to go with the Yahoo account.
That might help.
Try
Yeah,
that, because
that
that's
might
what I
help her.
have. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
suggest that to her. Okay. Well, should we talk about fundraising? That sounds like a good topic.
Davine, could you elaborate a little bit on how you're getting that message? Like how are you getting people to feel that? I think it's a great message. I know there's been a few times when I just got over the top stressed out. Listening to our radio station just helped me, you know.
Well, that's where it came from. Was I realized that first of all we have news and talk in the morning. We have Amy Goodman 8 o'clock. Then we have local talk, or we have some of the syndicated stuff like Ralph Nader, Harry Shearer, Michio Kaku, which are topical talk shows, with the exception of Ralph Nader. But from the afternoon on, I play great music, or I play music programs coming from Pacifica. And thank you all for the recommendations of the different ones that you recommended, because I picked them up and they definitely make me feel good. And so for the rest of the day, up to midnight, I'm playing great music or great DJ shows. And it just, because the radio is such an intimate companion that it's like a warm blanket in these very hostile, strange times. And that's what I feel. So over a period of time, I mean, I've been on pins and needles and in terrible distress ever since Trump was elected. So I don't take drugs. So one of my sidelines of this is don't take drugs, don't drink, get some comfort from the radio. So those are thoughts that I had that as time went by, and I realized what the station was doing for me. And I know if it's doing it for me, when I hear from people, you know, I really love your station, and I know it's doing that for them too. Plus, we're very gifted. We're very fortunate that we have some show hosts who come in and do some super great music shows that, you know, it just takes you to a whole different place where they know who these artists are. They know who this band played, who played in this band in the 1920s. They know, you know, what instrument they were playing and why they were so great and why they were so unique and all that. And it gets you away from the horrible world that we're in right now.
Right on.
So instead of drinking and drugging, you escape with your radio and don't destroy your life.
Are these things you actually say on the air?
We're going to, yeah. We're working on our script right now. Our fundraiser is going to be October 12th through the 18th, I think. Yeah, and we're going to say that on the radio.
Instead of drinking and drugging, LOL.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, and the whole theme is we love radio and why we love radio. I think everybody needs, you know, I know our listeners are going to, we all need some good stuff. It's just there's so much bad out there. And probably if I didn't have that radio station, I just might be drinking right now.
I think you're so, it's wonderful because, you know, to me, I realize that, you know, I don't usually listen to music a lot but it's amazing to me that right now, I feel like music, it's like what you said, you know, music is something that my husband plays in our 11, used to be 11, now it's only 8 community bands. He plays clarinet.
Gosh.
He plays, and it's so funny because he says, I gotta, before the pandemic, he says, I have to go to the, in Spanish, he speaks some Spanish, but he says, I'm gonna go and play for the viejitos. Viejitos means old people in Spanish, but it's an affectionate way of saying an elder. So, and then we both laugh because we ourselves are viejitos, you know, but he's talking about going to the convalescence home to play, but he's the one that showed me about music, different kinds of music, because I didn't, you know, I did grow up with it differently, Mexican music and all, but I really believe that we need that. Like, you know, late at night, I always play when I'm doing stuff for KBBF or working. I put Sam Cooke's Times Are Gonna Change, and I just constantly play that in others to give me inspiration, you know, to keep saying it, you know, we can do it. This is just, you know, just one little kick we got, and then we got to get up and keep going. And because, you know, it's like right now, just listening to this, the whole thing of what the consequences of, you know, of the point right now, the appointment of the Supreme Court and you know, and everything else, that we have a big job ahead of us, and between now and November and even beyond. But anyway, I agree with you. I think that we have to emphasize a combination and you know, and of both. Yes, information is good, but you know, like my husband listens to Democracy Now! Every morning, and I love Amy Goodman, but for once in a while, I would just love for her to say, the trespasser at the White House said something one more time, and then let me tell you here for the next half an hour, this is the reaction to that one statement. And I want her to just cover all the protests that are going on, the positive things that are going on and everything else, instead of showing even his face. But I know that that they have to, democracy, and it's got to do a balance maybe, but he's got enough coverage, that he doesn't need to invade democracy now, and so anyway, the point is that I agree with you. I think it's a beautiful way of doing it, that it is true. It's a cuddling kind of thing, and we need that, and that's a wonderful theme,
Yeah.
We may steal it from you and use it too.
Making a safe space.
Yes, exactly.
Anything more we want to add to this, or does that give you things to think about, Ursula?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to start our fund drive right after the election. So I'm really, I don't think we can avoid taking that into account. And I think I think you're right, Davine. I think that's a really important thing. And I'm just trying to think about how to actually, get people to really feel that, to.
Maybe you could play that kind of music while you're doing the pitches.
Yeah, I was thinking of, maybe doing just an afternoon of passion and just playing an afternoon of just playing really passionate, heartfelt music and just preempting a regular program, and just because every once in a while I hear a song and I just feel it's just so moving that it just really gives me a few minutes of tremendous relief. And I was thinking of maybe doing a collection of songs like that and just taking a whole afternoon during the fund drive and just doing that.
Am I on or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on.
We've encouraged all of our show hosts who do music to concentrate on songs about progress, protest, and they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, just put I Want to Survive.
I'm going back to the most turbulent time we've had, aside from this one, is in the 60s. And the music that came out of that era between the 60s to the late 70s, but the music that came out of that was so expressive of the social changes that were going on. And I honestly think we're in that deep discontent again now. And I feel like we're in a very significant time. And it's going to be expressed in the music that goes out to the community. But Ursula, I didn't plan I planned our fundraiser, and this is I think I said this, we're 5 years old. We've been on the radio for 5 years. We've had the license for 5 years. And so we're kind of, the umbrella of it is that we're 5 years and we've worked to develop programming that is really significant to the community. And it's our comfort zone right now. But I did plan it before November 3rd. I did plan it ahead of time, and instead of having to deal with the uncertainty of what happens in the election. Because frankly, if he were to win again, I don't think I could truly pull off any kind of positiveness. I think I'd feel like we'd gone to hell in a handbasket. Totally.
Yeah.
I thought about that too today, I thought exactly that. And then I have to keep remembering that a lot of people before us were going through the same thing we're going through right now. And that they pulled through, and then they didn't give up, and that they kept going. They took one more step. So I gotta think back of everyone that did it. And and I know that they did it because they unified. At the end, they unified themselves, and it wasn't based on color, it wasn't based on race, it wasn't based on age or anything. It was just that they were really good human beings, and we all got together. Now I still gotta have that faith. I still believe that deep down we as human beings are really, really good, and that at the end of it all we are gonna come through. Even if we'll come through. And that's all I kept thinking. um I went to do an errand for a friend who's, she's 80 something, and I coming back, that's when I was listening to the radio, and I started crying it, because at first I started crying out of just desperation and anger and everything, and then all of a sudden I had to say, no, I'm not going to give up. I am not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going, even though I don't, right now it feels, just horrendous. I feel like things are happening for a reason. Even, even the death of our sister Ruth, it's happening for a reason. It's challenging us to, just keep going and keep doing more. And so for me, it's just, I had to go back to my ancestors. I had to go back to all the people that I know who have passed on and fought for us to have the right to unionize, the right to, Social Security, the right to all of those people who sacrificed their lives. And I just got to say, I want to be in that group, and I'm not going to give up. But I know right now, you know, I know that I'm grieving right now, and I am, scared, and but I finally, at that moment, I was in my car outside, before. That's why I was late, because I was outside just crying and saying, no, I'm not going to give up, I'm not going to give up. And even though I'm going crazy right now with it, I'm not also, I want to be part of this group with all of you, I want to be part of this group. And, it's like Ursula said too about, Pacific and everything else. The audience, let's not talk about how many numbers. Is that the important thing about us being in public radio is that we are promoting and we are doing a right thing. We are doing a service to the whole community, and eventually people will listen, and more people. We just have to not ourselves give up, the ones who are in the forefront right now. And it's good that we're, for me, it's good to desahogarme. It's good to let out this, so I won't drown right now in all my grief. I gotta just let it out to all of you, and because for me, in doing that, it gives me strength to keep going. Especially when I know that I'm on an incredible group of people like all of you. And so anyway, and yeah, it's just so important for us to keep going, to cuddle with each other, to like do that, that keep thinking, saying we're gonna be okay, we are. But anyway, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Alicia. Hearing you say you're not going to give up makes me feel stronger in my not giving up.
Yeah, I think it's you never, in history never feels like it's happening when it's happening. It's only when you look back on it. And I think everything we say and do right now matters a lot. I think these moments we're having, they count,
I agree that we can't possibly give up. It's too important. I have ancestors from the 1700s that fought in the Revolutionary War. And And on the one hand, I think, they must be turning over in their graves that someone is trying to turn us into a dictatorship whenever they fought so hard to relieve us from the monarchy. And, I've got that, I guess, resistance gene in me because of those people who fought in the past to bring us where we are. So we, I think that we can draw strength from each other for sure. And I really appreciate Alicia's sharing her tears because it brings tears to my eyes too. But we're in very difficult times, and we will get through it. But it's not without a lot of backbone, and we can't forget that we need to keep some humor somewhere.
There was a bit today that they showed with the protesters, well, not protesters, but just the people that were just witnessing Ruth Bader Ginsburg lying in state, and Trump came out with his mask, and did you guys see that when they were very strong voices, just vote him out, and just that was just, oh my God, thank you. Just
that was wonderful.
Yeah. It was really wonderful. And it was awesome because his face was covered and he couldn't talk. And he just had to back away.
And he turned tail and ran.
Yeah, he just slunked off. It was so good. So moments like that. And like in Virginia, the lines for the early voting have been hugely long, and lots of those people are wearing masks. So you got to think they're on our side.
So my husband's cousin has a shop on Worth Avenue in Palm Beach, and that is the epicenter of Trump support. And she says she's only getting one customer in a day. So that means even those huge Trump supporters are aware that this pandemic is something to be taken very seriously.
Well, that's good.
Somehow I find a great deal of comfort in that. I'm not quite sure why.
Well, yeah, they're realizing from other sources besides him what is important and what is truth. Yeah, for sure. I see William has joined us. Can you hear us, William? Is this William from Omaha? Maybe he just has us on in the background. I'm not sure. Well, say hi if you want to, William. We'd love to hear from you too.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's nice to hear your voice.
Hey, I did get your email, so I plan on participating during the grassroots conference, and so yeah, count me in for sure.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm guessing hoping that was from Sharon. Did she send you?
Yeah, I know. I got some feedback. Asked me to if I was interested. Of course, I'm still interested in following through on that also.
Okay. Well, I could pass her on do you have Sharon's address?
Yep.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah.
How are you doing in Omaha?
Oh, everything's so far in Omaha. We're staying consistent. Of course, everything dealing with this. Once we turn our camera on, still doing the Corona stuff, but we're actually still doing in studio broadcasting. We just have our guests. Either they're 6 feet apart or we wear masks. We just try to model, the mandates, here in our territory, so we keep down fear. our school's going to be starting back in the next couple weeks, I think. And so there's just some normality, but there's still a mask mandate here.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that I talked about last time in regards to accessing dollars from the government, there was a call by our county health department that's leading the charge here at Dutch County. All the major players as far as broadcast was on that Zoom call. So we're talking about print, Omaha World Herald. We're talking about the major networks like ABC, CBS. Talking about local grassroots newspapers like Omaha Star, the Reader, but also you talk about small radio stations like ourselves. We're also including that call because we reach a particular audience. So just try to come out with a collaborative message that everybody's going to utilize for the next 6 to 8 months. Of course, I advocated being a small station that we've been doing this since March because we are a community-based station, and that we need resources. So I always ask for resources, especially when the big boys are around. But also I ask for collaborations also with those major networks, because that gives us another opportunity, to spread our brand. So other than that,
Yeah.
we're just doing collaborations. Collaborations has been our focal point. Collaborating with local media on all different platforms, so we can leverage that and ask for dollars. And so that's what we did with our Black Media Collaborative here in Omaha. 3 radio stations, 1 magazine, 1 newspaper, and a blog all came together and put our demographics together and start asking for money. And so far, when you go after a particular niche, particular community, especially that's been heavily hit, then your voice is a little bit more taken seriously.
Ursula, didn't you say that you tried some of those? Well, you said you you started taking interviews from the city officials as a cue from William?
Yeah. I went to the, after your presentation, I went to the County Board of Health Board, and asked them if they would come on once a month, and they're happy to do so. So we're going to be starting that next month. So that was thanks to your inspiration. Thank you for that.
Now, Ursula, it started in Ames, Iowa. So no collaboration, as far as small stations, sharing information, sharing resources. I mean, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Well, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, you came to Ames, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, this is the carefree days, right?
I love it. Hey, we're gonna get back to
it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. What happened? Let's see. Well, it's been kind of a heavy day, hasn't it? Anything else that we want to add?
Oh, before I leave, I always had an interest in attacking the digital divide. We're blessed to get a grant through the state of Nebraska through the CARES Act to expand broadband in rural Nebraska, and so we just got our MOU from Macy, Nebraska, which is the Omaha, which is sit on Omaha Indian Tribe, and so which is one of the poorest community here in Nebraska. So we're gonna be building our own internet on the reservation. So we're actually
Wow.
expanding. We're expanding our our radio per se, in other areas because internet is just another form of radio on a different frequency. And so
That's cool. You're going to build another, I'm sorry, say that again. You're going to build a
so,
whole other internet
so
station?
actually, we're going to be we're going to create our own ISP. We're going to be an internet service provider.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
cool.
So we're going to be providing internet for that community. Of course, by having that access, of course, we're going to be promoting our stream for sure.
Wow, that's
So
really exciting.
I'm just encouraging you guys just to look at other means of revenue, during this time, because it's out there, and we got smart people in our communities. We just got to reach out in our communities and find those smart people and connect, or even people that have ideals and connect with them. Most of us got 501c3s and see how we can use that status and to leverage on how we get our messagery out on different platforms, and how we own those platforms to develop new revenue streams.
Wow, cool.
Good to hear.
Yeah, you'll have to keep us updated on how that goes.
I shall. I'll give you an update during the grassroots radio conference.
Excellent. So you signed up then for that?
I think I have. Well, if
You should have gotten an email like
Yeah.
form to fill out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
yeah, I got it. I saved it, so I shall fill it out.
You might want to do it like today because I think the deadline.
Is it today?
I mean, it might have. I think it might have even passed. I would get in touch with Sharon and get.
Okay,
on.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you make sure that everybody in Pacifica Network knows about that?
Make sure everyone knows about the form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'll check and make sure. The date and see when it's.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Well, if it's passed, even if it's passed, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Stephanie, you got all the power. You got all the influence. I'm pretty sure you can get an extension. We just need an extension.
Yeah, they'll be taking registration up until the actual event. That's how this goes.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So
I have a question.
you give a deadline. Yeah.
I have a question for William.
Sure.
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
William. My
How
name
you
is.
doing?
I'm doing good. My name is Cynthia. I'm in Albany, New York. What you're talking about? Are you talking about municipal internet?
Yes, actually, community. So we're gonna be servicing residential, as well as the businesses in that community. It's actually Indian town. It's on a reservation.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
so population is probably about 900 people.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be rural as so business as well, and they really don't have that much business. They only have one convenience store in the whole city. So it's something that needs to be changed. So God has bestowed a great opportunity to make a change in that community.
The reason I'm asking you is a number of years ago, a former city council member proposed municipal internet, and the mayor just like tossed it aside and didn't do anything with it. And I do a podcast which is turned into a radio show here in Albany. would you be interested in talking about what you're doing in your community with me? And I could broadcast it in Albany?
Oh, that'd be no problem. You try to
Okay.
make, you try to make me a star? You try to make me, you try to big
Yeah.
apple? Oh, you trying to take me to Big Apple? Oh yeah, I don't mind
No,
coming.
no, no. Upstate, upstate.
Hey, thing, I say the whole New York is the whole Apple.
Right.
No,
Right.
no, no, that'd be a blessing.
You know, because in New York,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the big cable companies, and they've got a stranglehold, and you know, the little guys don't have a chance.
Yeah, with that, a lot of times it's all about relationships. So, if are you talking about doing something inside the city?
I'd like to have something done inside the city. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is where my current tower, uh, we're on the second highest landmass as far as terrain in Omaha, and and we're on the 13-story apartment tower, which is a low income apartment building, and so we're really high, and so I already did a test with one sector of Wi-Fi equipment.
Okay.
And so so a lot of us already got leases already with our current antenna, and so right underneath you can install your own Wi-Fi network, and a lot of these are free licensing, so you don't need no licensing or anything like that. Everything's still got to be regulated by the FCC for our
Right.
equipment use.
Right.
But
What I'm proposing is for you to do a show with me, and it'll be broadcast in Albany, and it's food for thought. You know, let people who are listening to, you know, find out what stations across the country are doing.
that'd be no problem. That'd be no problem. I always take the stance if my mama always told me if you want something done, do it yourself. And
That's
so
right.
so
Right.
I take that philosophy. I take
Okay.
that.
Okay. That would be great.
We just gotta think out the box. God has already answered our prayers already. Sometimes we just gotta sit back and find out the answer. So we already got towers already. We can put infrastructure, Wi-Fi infrastructure, and start our own ISP individually, and cover about a mile radius. Knock on doors, let people know that there's a new opportunity, there's a new sheriff in town.
So,
Right.
William, how did you learn how to go about that? And the reason that I ask is our particular station got started by a ISP company, and they were very, very big in the early 2000s up to about 2011, when they lost their position on the tower that they had, that kind of the signal went out across town because we're in a high valley. And then they started losing their business. I know that we had some licensing that we had that I didn't know what to do with it. And so I let it expire because I didn't know what to do with us taking up the mantle of distributing Wi-Fi around town.
Do you know how long ago was that?
A couple of years ago.
Did William get a glitch maybe?
I think so. So
Sorry about that. I gotta.
yeah, so we had licensing to go up and down at least one of the main very populated streets in town.
Right. Is that I think the only thing
But
you can't.
I didn't understand what to do with it myself, because I was learning how to run a radio station, and also checking into using that license to put Wi-Fi along the streets just was too much for me to have to try to understand at that time.
Yes, ma'am. We can always see if that's reinstatable, and if no one's, took if that license expired or still exists, because it might
I
still.
think it expired. I'm pretty sure it expired, but I don't know. I don't even know how to go check it. So, it's a whole new. It's a whole opening a whole new door.
Yeah, and I've been studying this stuff alongside it with this low power radio, and so I've just been kind of studying it, and then just took advantage of this Corona actually gave us an opportunity to get funding.
Mm-hmm.
But
So what you're saying is you need kind of, I know they had some equipment boxes when we were granted the license, the ISP that had the license that we got it from, they were in the office next door, and they had these boxes laying around, or these metal kind of, they look like the size of, how the round restaurants outside, you'll see these rat catcher things. So like that.
What angle are they? Rectangle or are they?
Kind of rectangular and roundish on top.
Okay. So those are probably some kind of microwave. They wasn't horizontal, where they like tall or vertical.
They were about like this and about that high.
Okay, so those are probably Wi-Fi connectors or something like that. Yep, that small. Yep. So
well, we need to have a meeting, you and I, where we can talk about it some more. Then.
Yeah, you have my number.
I wouldn't know how to begin.
Okay, well, where are you located at?
In Asheville, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh yeah, it's warm down in North Carolina. It's starting to get cold up here in Nebraska.
Well, we're in the mountains, so it's 70 today, but it's a wet 70. That means it's a cold 70.
Okay, it's a cold 70. Well, I ain't trying to come to the mountain. I'm scared of heights. You come down in that.
Well, to your mention that somebody had the highest signal, I think you mentioned you had the highest signal in Omaha. So our station probably is one of the highest on the East Coast.
Man,
so we're in a high town. Our antenna is about 2,500 above sea level.
Now, so from your antenna, can you see the whole town?
Just about.
Okay, so basically, you can set up your own ISP network. Do you got fiber going to the tower? Is it fiber up there anywhere?
No, but we could probably get it because they're trying to sell fiber around town.
Okay, so if you get fiber up there, you set up your wireless network through microwave, and most of the wireless is line of sight. If you can see your whole city, man, you can put stuff on people's roofs, and you can start bam. We can get it going on, Miss North Carolina.
Okay, well, I can talk to our ISP provider and see what they say, because I know AT&T was running fiber through town.
Yep. So sometimes we gotta look at different ways and to diversify our radio network. And sometimes
I agree. I totally agree with that. We got to we have to think outside the box, is what I say.
Cool. You do have my number though, do you?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I know how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Go ahead and put your number in the chat though.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. Okay.
So Ursula, we were going to do some sort of roundtable at the conference on Dropbox.
Yeah, Ursula and I are gonna do tools of remote broadcasting, tools in the toolbox, and then it'll include Joseph McGuire's when he talked about internet interviews and doing clean feed and phone interviews and Dropbox. You'll be our star for Dropbox. And what else were we doing? Rocketcaster? Is that what it's called?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and ways to then upload things. Yeah, for like Dropbox and like I don't remember how to describe that other thing you were talking about, the like drive-through server and the like automated server. That was another one that we were gonna do. So yeah, we'll have kind of a compilation of people. So did you get the email on that one, Davine? You're on mute.
I got the email from, I think, Jason yesterday, but I know I had committed to whatever y'all needed for that time, and I'm probably just
Oh, okay.
use
I
my.
thought I sent you one yesterday, but
Okay.
I must have not have. So I'll resend that today.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can do a PowerPoint that really simplifies, because I realize that a lot of stations are not as, a lot of stations are, I think, still doing more analog than digital. Am I correct in that? Ursula, do you think?
Good question.
Analog on what do you mean? You mean on?
Well, I think a lot of stations are not, like, we have an automation that if any, that will automatically pick up any programming that I get set up to go into our automation system, and then it plays out on the radio without my having to be there and do anything. I'm not sure that a lot of stations are set up like that. Am I wrong, or am I?
I think I would guess. I mean, a lot do, but a lot. I would say the majority don't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In fact, I had a station recently emailing me asking me advice on that. Maybe could I ask them to talk to you, Dean?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm happy to. Yeah. Yeah, just send them, do an email connect or whatever
Yeah.
works best for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I just kind of, while you were talking, I remember that somebody was waiting to hear from me, and I was just trying to figure out who to send them to. So I'll go back and find that email.
Well, it seems to me like in this time that we're in, and it looks like COVID's going to be around for at least another year or more, stations are going to have to, if they're going to stay open, they're going to have to be able to do some sort of automation, I think.
It would help, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we automate, but we don't automate taking it from the web and putting it, we just automate, we take things, we download things by hand.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do that partly.
And I think a lot do that.
Right, I do it because it alerts me to, when my engineer has problems with a show, then I know there's I kind of use it as for me to do my job better. It gives me red flags for my Pacifica job. So I'm kind of taking advantage of him that way. But it's helpful because I notice, when you automate, you don't always notice when there's mistakes.
Well, you do if you're listening.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? If you're listening.
Yeah, I'm the all day long mother hen.
Right.
And now I'm getting other people to mother hen with me, which is really good. I'm not the only mother hen.
Yeah, but we've got a number of reasons why things go wrong here. So even if things go wrong, I don't know it was necessarily the audio. We have a whole lot of problems.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else anyone wants to add before we go?
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. This has been a really nice session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll send you, Davine, an email.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And Vertical, one day we'll hear from you.
Yeah. Vertical guard angels. And thanks, Cynthia and William. Good to see you guys. And Davine and Ursula and Alicia had to skip out. So, all right. Next week, Otis is going to talk about, he made a new feature in audio port for albums. So he's going to talk about how that works. And then I thought maybe we could do a little question and answer if anyone needs updating on audio port stuff too. So
Yeah, and Stephanie did a really nice organization of music on pacificanetwork.org. Really nice catalog if you ever want to take a look. It's really, really nice.
yeah, it's cleaned up now. It looks more organized.
Yeah, we have somebody just joining. Maybe we
we do. Oh my gosh.
can say hello before we say goodbye.
Hi and bye.
Hi there.
Hello.
You
How
can
are
just
you?
say goodbye.
Better late than never. I just came home and I thought maybe they're still there.
We were just saying goodbye.
All right. Hi, bye.
Any news from your end before we go?
Yeah, true.
In Santa Cruz, we finally have air to breathe. It's so nice.
Oh, that's
Gosh,
good.
these orange skies are gone. And so in our area,
Is it getting more contained?
it's 100% contained now, but it's still burning, of course, but it's contained. And there's, I don't think anybody's evacuated anymore. But 925 homes are gone and all kinds of other structures. So it was bad. But we were able, that's the interesting thing. We were able to do reporting on it, and people really responded well. When there's a disaster, people responding. Somebody last week gave us $365. So I guess he thought, well, $1 a day. So,
That's great.
but anyway, so the radio station is doing fine. We've been doing a lot of reporting. I was hoping that what's her name again from Louisville? Did she say something how it's going right now?
No, yeah, I was wondering too what's happening down there, but I guess she has her hands full today.
Of course.
She's got a lot going on, so yeah.
I really was, thinking about them. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure if people talk about it.
yeah.
She's been preparing a lot for the GRC, so I think she hasn't been able to make the meetings.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. I want to know too how if they're doing okay.
Yeah.
So I know I just came home. I had to go with some friends. Finally, do something fun outside.
Fun. That's great.
But I feel. Do we have any people that come from Oregon that visit the Thursdays?
Not very often. Not very often. I've been talking to a lot of the Oregon stations, and I'm not aware of any Oregon station that actually was in danger. The ones that I was really concerned about, they all seem to be okay. So it seems like all the stations came through okay. I haven't heard yet of any of our affiliates that were damaged by the fires, so that's a good thing.
Well, we had, UCSC was evacuated and then they didn't have any electricity. So we had to bring up generators there and, to keep going. Because people really, there's some people that came by and gave some money and we thanked them so much. And they said, no, thank you. You keep us sane, with whatever you're doing. You bring some sanity to life. So I think, more than ever during this crisis, both the pandemic and the fires, I think we prove ourselves that, community stations are not old and, the past. We still play a major role, and I'm really pleased that we're doing that for people. And I bet you have the same.
How did you get a generator?
So we bought a generator, and then they run on propane. And so we had to lug it all out because, UCSC is, of course, on the hill because that's where the tower is. That was just for the transmitter. And people had to go there, and then every couple of days or every other day they had to go and bring in some more propane and then drag it down to the gas station, fill it up, go back up there. It's, it's crazy. But in the building we were in, the County Office of Education, they had just set up a generator and we paid part of it. So at the station we were fine, but they did these rolling blackouts for, because of the fire. And so But like I said, it is amazing what a function we play. I've never been more convinced than now that we need to keep going and we need to support each other. How are we doing nationwide? Are we losing a lot of radio stations because they can't financially make it?
Not yet. We're very, well, in our network, very few stations have gone under yet. You know, we'll see. You know, if I'm really concerned about the next year, about what kind of stress stations are going to go under.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Right now, everybody's pretty much there's a few stations have ended, but most stations are holding steady. Amazingly. Yeah.
Now, how are you both of doing because you're in Iowa, right? And you have big spike in COVID?
Yeah, we just had another one with, we had 1,300 cases this morning in a day. It was, part of that was because they added a new method of testing or something, but it's been consistently high.
I mean, that's in a town of, you know, 60,000 people. That's a pretty big.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A lot.
So it's bad here. I mean, the thing that, you know, makes it a little bit better than it sounds is that it's not a heavily populated area. I mean, Ames is not a crowded town. So it's not like New York City, you know, where you have hospitals up and.
I think it was for the state though, not just our town.
The 1,300 was for the state?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that's better.
Yeah.
It's way better.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. That would be a lot. Yeah.
But still, 1,300
But
is still a lot.
it's still higher than.
But I mean,
Yeah,
our town is supposed to be the worst in the country. But again, you know, it's not a huge population, so it's not like everybody's crowded together.
Mm-hmm.
There's
but still, that you have such a spike.
Oh yeah, I think it's not. You know, people are just people are getting very depressed and frustrated, and you know, there's a lot of kind of like in the middle of night phone calls where people are having panic attacks and things like that. You know, a lot of suicide.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Plus, we haven't been very strict on our rules either. So.
No.
Our governor.
People come into the station.
Well,
oh, no,
the station's rules are good. Just the state in general.
Yeah, well, I think that's why, because your state is so riffy-waffy.
Well, yeah, I mean, we would like to open the station, but it's just so risky right now. Yeah. But you know, it gets on everybody's nerves. They're like, well, why can't I come? You know, I don't have COVID, and it's just, it's hard to, but you know, it's. If you start having people come here, it just gets harder and harder to manage. And right now, so far, we've managed to stay virus-free at the station. And we really want to keep it, you know? We really don't want anybody to get sick here.
Right.
So we're being pretty strict about it, and it's upsetting people.
Well,
and
we still have programmers come in. There's, you know, it's self-determining.
Yeah.
Some people want to come in and others not, and then they use clean feed, you know, and then somebody's in the station to connect, you know, people on the phone with the people that are at home. With, you know, we do it all with clean feed now because it's better sound. But there's still a lot of programmers coming in. But we wipe, and when we're supposed to, when we come in, wear our mask, wash our hands, and when we leave, you know, do the same thing. So far so good. There were 2 programmers that brought in a guest, and that was like, you know, no way. You know, a quick board meeting by email, absolutely not. And so we do, you know, like everybody else, Zoom stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm glad to hear that you didn't have any COVID cases either.
Well, so far we've been okay at the station, and I just really want it to stay that way. we don't have the ability to monitor people enough to, you know, to let them in, because I just know how easy it is. I mean, you know, people can still get into the station. Well, now they can't because we changed the door, but not because of that. But I mean, the thing is, it's just so easy to be in denial, you know. I mean, several times we've had people come in here who I found out afterwards actually didn't know if they had been exposed or not, you know. So, I mean, the desire to do your radio show is just stronger than your willingness to, you know, think that maybe you're infected. It's just human, you know.
Right.
So I don't have the ability to monitor that. So,
Well, it is, you know, for some reason, I guess we're still young enough that people are still eager enough, and they're, you know, we didn't bring over from the old station where people were so lackadaisical and smoking and doing all kinds of things that they're not supposed to do. And since, you know, we're a year and a half old, I think we have impressed enough on people that it's a no-go. And then when actually it was one of the board members who brought in a guest, and that was noticed by another board member, and that went, you know, real quick, like, no way can you do that. So, and that was then, you know, a tightening up of the rules for everybody else. But I know Sharon has had to, you know, cancel some of the programmers and say, you ain't coming in anymore.
Yeah, I remember when she went through that too.
I know. So anyway, I just wanted to see you guys. I haven't seen you for a while, and
That's
Okay,
good to
well,
see you, Matilda. Glad you could stop by. I was curious, would you be okay talking to me a little bit about your experience with your station and the fire? I could, the fires that are going on. I've been collecting different experiences that stations are having to do a post about.
sure.
Okay, cool. I guess we can officially end, and then people want to, yeah, if you want to stick around.
I see two other people, Russell and William. Are they okay?
Yeah, they've been good. I think. Well,
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'll just listening.
he's just doing. Yeah, he's just got it in the background.
so Stephanie, if you end up getting some audio that we can use for our Sprouts show, think about that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're also gonna do a Sprouts show with it too. So
Yeah.
A Sprout show?
yeah.
I'm gonna go back to my other work and let you guys talk, but
Yes. Bye, Ursula. Good seeing you.
Okay.
yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Good to have you.